Are you ready to learn more about the weather with me today? Come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the weather. Let's talk about the weather. Let's talk about the weather. How does it look and feel outside? How does it look and feel outside? Friends, we can check to see what the weather looks like and how the temperature feels outside to determine some weather patterns. Do we see thick storm clouds brewing? Maybe some sleet and hail when it's cold, or even snow? Or do we see a bright shining sun and a gentle breeze? There are so many different types of weather, especially in the springtime. Today's story is a nonfiction book, a true factual book about weather in springtime. Let's take a look at this book together. First, we see a table of contents. The table of contents shows us what we will be studying about and where we can find it. For example, it tells us that we'll learn about the shining sun on page 6. Let me see if I can find page 6. Here's 4, 5, and there's page 6. And look, it is about the shining sun. The table of contents is so handy, friends. You can always check the table of contents if you want to find some information quickly. But we're going to read the whole book together now. Let's start with our first chapter. It's spring. Spring is here. The weather feels warmer. The sun shines longer each day. So when spring comes, the weather gets warmer. The shining sun. As Earth moves around the sun, it spins on a tilted axis. In spring, the sun shines more directly on the northern part of the Earth, which is why the weather feels warmer. The sun rises earlier each day, and it sets later every night. Longer days bring warmer weather. Sunshine melts the snow. Do you see the snow melting? And the grass is coming up. Water from melted snow runs into creeks and rivers. Sometimes waterways flood. Oh my goodness. So we learned that the sun melts the snow that goes into creeks and rivers. Spring storms. That was one of our weather words that we talked about at the beginning of the lesson, storms. Spring weather changes often. Warm sunny days follow cool rainy days. Can you spot the rainbow, friends? There it is. Storm clouds form. Rain falls, lightning flashes, and thunder rolls. Can you stomp your feet or pat the table to make a thunder sound? Wow. You can even clap your hands to sound like thunder clapping in the sky. Wow. Small storms can become big storms. Tornadoes swirl. Look at that tornado. Oh my goodness. Your spring is our next chapter. Spring can be sunny, rainy, and stormy. What weather does spring bring to your home? That's a great question, friends. And that's the end of our book. We've seen a lot of different weather this spring. We've already seen some snowy, icy weather, and also some sunny weather, and some rain too. We've had quite a variety already, friends, over the last month or so. All right, we have an index in the back that shows us where we can find different topics as well, like the Earth's axis, flooding, lightning, longer days, melting snow, rain, and so much more. Now, I want us to answer a few questions about our book before we finish today. Let's see if we can remember the answer to these questions. What season comes after the cold winter? Is it summer, spring, or fall? What do you think? Our book gives us a hint. Yes, it is spring. So I'm going to circle spring. Spring comes after winter. Let's try another one. What happens to snow when the temperature gets warmer? Does snow freeze when it gets warmer? Does it turn to dirt or does it melt? Do you remember from our story? What does snow do when the weather gets warmer? Here's a picture of it right here. Yes, snow melts when the weather gets warmer. Do you remember what helps the snow melt in the spring? Something that brings warmth. Is it rain, clouds, or sunshine? Did you say sunshine? Yes, you are right. All right, awesome, friends. Let's ask one more question. What blooms in the spring? Birds, flowers, or animals? The key word is blooms. What blooms in the spring? Yes, flowers bloom in the spring. We see so many beautiful flowers that start to grow in the spring when the weather gets warmer. Friends, thank you so much for joining me today to learn about the weather in spring. We will see you next time to learn more about weather together. Bye-bye.